Let me give you my perspective on what real refusal of health is, on getting better is. A real refusal of getting better would be you rejecting any form of help. If you want to get better, but you have qualms and frustrations with how certain forms of getting better are, that doesn't make you treatment resistant or not wanting any help. What it means is that, you're an unconventional person who's unbuilt for most forms of things, or you have trauma with them, or you just have frustrations with them and have not had your needs met, and those forms of getting better cannot help you fulfill your needs very well. That's my view of it, Like with me not wanting psychotherapy, Understand. Thanks. First of all, I got put in ABA therapy as an 8-year-old. For those of you who do not know what applied behavioral analysis therapy is, it's abuse, and it's the gold standard treatment for autism spectrum disorder. I had my face grabbed when I was 8 years old, and the therapist at my old elementary, she grabbed my chin to make me look her in the eye. I would just always cry, in middle school, not wanting to go to school, what's wrong with me? Why am I treated like this? I feel like a dog in a shock collar. Then I got abused in a facility called Cathedral Home for Children, where the therapist punished me for crying. She took my makeup away and yelled at me and said she'd put me in a psych ward if she ever caught me crying in the group home. And then she broke my confidentiality to other girls and humiliated me. And one girl told her social worker, and they reported her. I now don't know the outcome because not long after I was removed there. And my parents put all kinds of shit on me, making me out as a problem child, autism double empathy problem, their own childhood issues and abuse, me being the scapegoat child. I've shown videos recently of why, of how my parents have talked, towards me, and that's not anywhere near close to that's only just a tiny bit of it. It's not anywhere close to being the full picture of how they have treated me at all, and how dynamics are in my family, and I would not want to talk of them because they could be misinterpreted. It's just way too much. And then with me, and I developed this frustration with therapy early on, into my therapy. So I got put in therapy, psychotherapy, starting at 13, with ABA starting at 8. ABA is not quite a psychotherapy. It's kinda. But, so if you count ABA, it's 8. If you count, mental health counseling, then it's 13. I had frustrations that I could never be consoled by the therapist, that they tried correcting my emotions rather than letting me express them, rather than offering me consolation. It makes me feel worthless and uncared for when they just sit there and watch me cry. I get that there's a whole boundary thing with therapists where you don't want to get, they don't want to get dependent on your therapist for that because they're there to help you and to be detached, and their feelings can get invested. But when you are uncared for by everyone around you, growing up I was, it just built so much resentment in me. I they were just watching me cry and getting paid to see me cry and just give me skills. I fucking hated it. It made me feel uncared for, worthless, dumped, and they don't care at all about my suffering, and they're depriving me of my need to be receiving compassion and care. And it's made me have so much resentment. I do not want to go to psychotherapy, a typical kind of psychotherapy, when they're just going to deprive me of my childhood lack and loss. And this is why I am a frustration Enneagram type. This has nothing to do with a 6 core at all. And I've shown screenshots in other videos that this has been something, this isn't something that I'm just saying now. I've said this for years, and I have wanted primal therapy since I've been 17. And that is why I want primal therapy, because they let you express your emotions unhinged. They can hold you when you cry. They're not just sitting there on their ass watching you cry. you know, or making like a sympathetic face. They're actually hugging you. They're getting on the ground with you. They're letting you scream into their arms. That's what I want. To just be able to grieve in that environment and have the consolation given to me. Now, that might sound like a breach of boundaries. I need somebody else to do that with me. But then if that's, you know, the case, then therapy is not even what's going to heal me. Then it's going to be that. But, you know, I believe that would be harmful for most people, but for myself, it is what I desperately need. Because if you put me on a therapist's couch, you're going to make me build resentment for the therapist, just watching me cry like that. And it's going to make me want to quit therapy and be so frustrated that I don't even want to be in it anymore. Different things work for different people, and I'm a very atypical kind of person. That may be very inappropriate for most people, but for me, it is what I need. You know, it's directly what I need. And I've read fan fiction since I was 11 of being hugged and nurtured because I didn't have that in my life. Going to show you how much I need that. You know, something like cuddle therapy would be way more helpful for me than psychotherapy. And that's something that I would be willing to do as long as it's with a woman.